All right, I want to thank everyone for coming, and once again, please put your phones on mute so that we don't have any feedback. If you do have a question to ask, you can send it to Facebook. My web page is link2017.org, and my Facebook page is link Neimark 2017. So feel free to submit any questions that have not already been submitted via Facebook. Link Neimark, N-E-I-M-A-R-K 2017 is my Facebook page. We've got some questions that have already come in, so we'll start with those.
My name's Maria, and I will be the moderator for this call. Our first question is, what qualities, experience, and values do you offer that the other candidates do not?
Thank you. Great question. I've had a wide range of past experiences, and I think they've all contributed to prepare me for this position. I've been in science. It was 4 years for the Alaska Department of Fish and Game as a fishery biologist. That taught me to be a logical thinker and to rely on facts for making decisions, not ideological viewpoints. I've been a businessman, and that taught me that problems are really opportunities for innovation and success. And I've been an educator, so I've learned how to talk to people and motivate people. One of the things that I bring is that I'm pretty good at public speaking. In business, I've been a sales manager, so I need to know how to talk to people, how to sell. And really, in order for us to win this position, the first step is selling me as a candidate. I've learned how to empathize with people, both through sales and my education positions. I've taught physical education in a parochial school. I've taught math in a high school. I've been a ski coach, a varsity soccer coach at high school. I've taught a wide variety of sports, and in all these sports, you have to, the first number one thing you need to do in order to teach a person, the first thing you have to do is build rapport. So I'm pretty good at doing that. That's how you build that connection. That's how you get them to listen to you. And it's kind of funny, but one of my jobs, right now I own and run a rock climbing business. I take tourists climbing. And you wouldn't think that there'd be a connection there, but one of the things I have to deal with every day in that business is helping people overcome fear. Helping people see their potential and reach their goals. One of the problems we have with the electorate today is they're afraid. They're afraid of change. They're easily manipulated through fear. People get on TV and say, "Oh, terrorism's a big problem," and I'm not saying it's not a problem, but that's not a reason to give up all your rights. It's not a reason to allow your congresspeople to take those rights away in things like the Patriot Act. So we need to get people to overcome their fears. We need to motivate those people. We have to harness that energy, because it's the people, the grassroots, the citizens of America that have to learn to stand up for themselves. And I think I can bring that to the table.
Question number 2. How can you reach Republicans and earn their vote?
Well, there's a couple things that are important here. One is dealing with the commonalities. Main Street Republicans and Main Street Democrats have a lot more in common than they have differences. One thing that the big corporations and billionaires love to do and are aided in this with the media is drive a wedge between citizens, between the left and the right. They get everyone rooting for the red team or everyone rooting for the blue team and getting those teams to fight each other. But the reality is we all have a lot of the same problems, and we need to work together. I think when you address that, you start to get people's attention. In other words, people want to know what's in it for them. They're like, oh, okay, you're the Democrat, why should I listen to you? Well, you know, are you a senior citizen? Do you want your Social Security? I would like to see that expanded, not taken away from you. You're a college student? You're burdened with incredible amounts of student loan? I don't care if you're a Democrat or a Republican. Those are the realities of your life, and if someone could help you with that situation, you're going to connect with that person. Bernie Sanders suggested free education, free college education. And I think that was a great idea. Maybe the time isn't quite right for it, but it's certainly a fabulous idea. This country has public education, K through 12. Super idea. Worked well for years. But in the modern society, a K through 12 education isn't sufficient. We need to go further. We need to invest in our young people. We need to see them as a resource for the future. They're going to be the ones that are going to help solve our problems that are coming down the pipe or exist already, like the problem with the Flint, Michigan water system. We need people that get educations and can help us solve these problems. But right now, we penalize people for going to college. We burden them with hundreds, 50,000, 100,000 in debt. It's just too much. And then we charge them interest. The banks charge them 7, 8, 9% interest when the banks are borrowing money at 1%. If we're not going to give free education, which is a great idea because it pays dividends down the road in productive citizens and tax-paying citizens, if we're not going to give free education, I'd love to see that, then at a minimum, we need to give students money to go to school at the same rate as we loan banks. I don't think anyone left or right would be against that proposal. So you look for the things in common. And of course you have to talk to those people. You have to reach out to those people. On Monday, the 20th, just coming up here, I'm going to be on Voices of Montana Radio. And that's talk radio. It's at 9 o'clock in the morning. Drive time, it's statewide. And it's listened to mostly by Republicans. Because of that, this is the station I'm going to choose to get on so I can talk to these people. I want them to know that, hey, we're not here to make their life harder. We're all in this together, and we need to work together.
Question number 3. What issues are most important to Montana voters?
Well, I think one of the main issues that we hear about nowadays is keeping public lands public. This idea that we're going to take federal land and then move it to state hands and then the state is going to manage it better or perhaps sell it off, no. The public lands are a great resource. Many of us live in Montana because of the wonderful public lands we have here for recreation and rejuvenation when we go to these lands. It's a wonderful thing. And the idea of selling these to the highest bidder is obscene. I know the argument is like, well, we can manage them better here. Well, that's not quite so easy. Like I said, I worked for the Alaska Department Fish and Game as a management biologist, and those decisions aren't that easy to make. And they require many agencies to work together, both federal, local, statewide. I think we're best off if we feel there are management issues to address those by addressing the federal agencies that are in charge of those lands. If we don't, we're going to take on, if we try to take on that job ourselves, we're going to have a few problems. One is, my fear is that these public lands are soon to begin to be private lands and lock out access to your average citizen. But even if not, even if the state is going to just manage these lands as they say they are, will we get the money for that? Where is the state going to have money for fighting fires in the National Forest Service if it becomes the State Forest Service? It's a huge amount of money that we just can't afford. Let's let the feds do it. Let's talk to the feds, go to public hearings, express our needs, but let's keep public lands public so that everyone in the state can enjoy them.
Question number 4. Why are you running?
Well, I'm surprised I'm running too, frankly. But what's happened is, I just watch what's happened to our government over time. And I am so upset with it, and for so long I've been like, why doesn't someone do something? Well, when Representative Zinke got a promotion here to the cabinet and the seat became vacant, I realized that that's someone that should do something. It's probably me. I need to step forward. I have to make a contribution. I've been involved in politics for many years. I've gone to Washington on several occasions to talk to congressmen and senators. I've campaigned for people. I've gone door to door to campaign for President Obama, for example. I've made contributions to candidates both in our state and in other states when I felt that they were a progressive that needed my support. And I will continue, no matter what happens, I will continue to do those things to support the right people, to help get the right people into positions where they can make a difference. But right now, I am willing to step forward, and I'm eager to make that contribution, and I think I can make a real contribution to change. You know, a lot of people will go off to war in order to fight for democracy. And they'll battle in the jungles or they'll battle in the desert. And that's great. That's fabulous that they make those sacrifices. But you know where the next battle for democracy is going to take place? It's going to be right in the halls of Congress. We need to win back America for Americans. Too many congressmen have been bought and paid for. They don't help their constituents anymore. They do the bidding of the donor class. We need people to get in there that haven't been corrupted. I get it, you know, there's so much money in politics these days that as you move up the chain from local to state to national, in order to keep funding your campaigns and keep moving onward and upward, almost everyone sells out along the way. It's so unfortunate. In fact, one of my planks is to get money out of politics. I have no interest in serving the donor class, serving the billionaires. I want to serve fellow Americans. I want to help Main Street. Wall Street's been bailed out, but who's helping Main Street? That's why I want to get involved. That's why I want to do my part. And because I'm not coming from that political system, I haven't sold out, and I don't intend to sell out. Bernie Sanders has shown us that you can wage a competitive campaign by taking small donations from ordinary citizens. I intend to follow his lead.
Question number 5 is, what are your platform issues?
We talked about some already. We've talked about keeping public lands public. We've talked about investing in infrastructure, investing in clean energy. These create jobs. We've lost so many jobs. We need to create decent paying jobs so that Americans can earn a decent living and support their families. One nice thing about investing in clean energy, for example, is we can easily become a world leader in this. America has always been on the forefront of technological developments. Clean energy will create jobs in this country, and it will have an advantage. It will have an advantage in that if we can create inexpensive energy, solar energy, for example, once you have the solar cells in place, is virtually free. Now our production costs go way down, and suddenly we're once again competitive on the world market. How are we going to pay for these programs? That's always been a question. Well, it has to do with priorities. Right now, in a given year, there's about $500 billion that is basically that billionaires and big corporations are able to keep in offshore tax havens and avoid paying taxes on. Or they'll use inversion systems where they'll buy some small company in Ireland, for example, and say, oh, we're not an American company, we're an Irish company. So that's an obvious source of income. The people at the top need to start paying their fair share. Another obvious source of income to fund these social programs would be to take a look at what our Department of Defense spends. We spend 65 cents on the dollar. Every tax dollar goes to defense. We have over 800 bases around the world. We're waging war in anywhere from 5 to 7 countries right now. The cost of this is immense, and it's wasteful. And it does little to make us safer from terrorism. Right now, we're dropping bombs in Somalia. Is that really a threat to us? Well, it will be if we piss off enough Somalians who want to come over here and be terrorists. We're not making friends around the world. We're making enemies around the world. And those problems are coming back to roost. Other countries in the civilized world here provide free college education. They provide health care to all their citizens as a right, not a privilege. We pay more per capita for health care in this country and our outcomes are about 37th on the list. It's ridiculous. We just don't have our priorities in line, and that's because right now the priorities of many of our Congress people are not the priorities of your basic American citizen. They prioritize things in order to serve their donors. I can't watch it any longer and sit on the sidelines. So I hope you will support me in moving forward. I want to go to Washington, and I want to start changing things. One congressman at a time, really. Were there any more questions that came across?
No, no more questions.
All right. Well, if there's no more questions, I'm going to thank you guys for all tuning in. We'll try to post this video on the website. So if you know other delegates or other citizens who haven't had a chance to watch it, we'll be posting this on Neimark 2017 Facebook and link2017.org webpage. So let's get the word out there. We have been blessed with a great opportunity here. We've got a Republican leaving, and it's an opportunity for us to put in a progressive right now in 2017. If we can show the rest of America that Montana could put a progressive in, I think we'll see more progressives being elected in 2018 as well. Thank you again for your time, and have a good evening.